I'm TarotOracle, and this is an update on the tarot card project that I currently have. So, at the end of May, we'll be going to Kickstarter with this. I'm assuming it'll get funded. I'm assuming. I've seen some pretty wild and weird tarots that have gotten funded. So, yeah, I'd like to see this one funded. That'd be great. Okay, let's review what cards I've done this week. This week I've done, let's see, 4, that would be 8, 9, 10. I've done 11 cards. And I'm working on a 12th right now. So we're making a lot of progress here, making quite a bit of progress. Currently have 22 cards in total. So let's look at what we did this week. If it will zoom in. The first card over here is the 10 of Cups. Possibly my favorite card, I have to say. So this is heavily modified from the original Rider-Waite. The colors up top here are different. I didn't want to duplicate the colors. The shine and gleam around here is in Photoshop. And I removed this front area to where you had this like dirt plane or dirt section. I removed it and I just have this. So, it's all right. Maybe I can put some flowers up here. I'm really heavily leaning on it, but overall pretty happy with that. Next card is the surgical masks on the 5 of Pentacles. So this was done, again, all this is done in watercolor, obviously. So the pentacles in the window, I think, are just like I want them. They're just like I want them. Okay, so I went back and forth, and I said, why don't I do the pentacles like this? To where it's really obvious, and it's really, that kind of thing. And then I'm like, no, that ruins the feel. I want it to be desolate. I want it to be cold. I want it to be, and if I make them bright and vibrantly pentacle shape, I didn't think that would work. So I left them like this, and I'm pretty happy with it. So obviously everyone's wearing a mask, so that was added. A couple of people, no, one person said my faces are terrible. Yes, I know my faces are terrible. I don't need to be reminded, but thank you. I'm not going to sit here and work on it for 100 hours. Anyway, that's just me. You're getting these faces. If you don't like it, don't pick it up. Anyway, so the wall texture is in Photoshop. Instead of doing the wall texture up and down like they have on the original card, I put it as this sort of this subtle thing as well. I like the snowdrops, some of them being red. I like that a lot. So it's weird. It almost has this weird feel to it. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Overall, pleased with the 5 of Pentacles. Let's move on. I'm not pleased with this. I need to reduce the cloud effect and make it not be in front of the cups. So the cups are going to be the mainstay here. I want them to be up front and not immersed within the clouds. Let me know your vote. Let me know your vote. Do you want the cups to be partially immersed within the clouds, or do you want them to be up front and noticeable? I'm going back and forth here. I don't know, man. I sort of like it because it gives it that weird ethereal feel too. Let me know. Do you want the cups to be up front and prominent, or do you mind them being obscured by clouds? No pun intended to the Pink Floyd album. Anyway, strength. A lot of people liked this one. I like this one as well. I like the minimalistic style of the card. There's nothing up front. There's no flowers. There's no grass. There's no dirt textures. It's just focused on you and the lion and the lady. The lemniscate I made blue, which is radically different from the other one. The lion obviously is heavily edited, but I really like it. I really like it a lot. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles. I replaced obviously the cloud with the hand with a bigger hand. So this was done in watercolor. I didn't have there's no particular color for flesh. So I went online, I looked up how to mix a flesh color, and I made it, and I just sort of winged it. But I think it looks nice. Now, I did go back into the pentacle and obviously digitally put the pentacle there. A big, bold, obvious pentacle, because that is the focus of the entire card. So pretty pleased with that. I did minimal work, as you can see on the bottom here. I was just like, whatever. I mean, it has a grassy variance to it, so I'm happy. But overall, I'm very happy with the hand. It looks weird and unusual, and that's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. Now, the other ace, the Ace of Wands, the cloud I darkened. I know I showed a cloud that was lighter, but I darkened the cloud. I also bumped up the texture to the hand, so the hand is double prominent to what it was before, which is what I want. I want that hand to be prominent. And of course, I lit the top on fire, so now it has that extra fiery feel. And for the swords, I'm going to make it icy, so I think that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, so everyone liked this card. I do need to get the top of the swords and make them brighter, I think. But basically, yeah, the heart is being stabbed. I bumped up the red in here around here because I think the red really previews what you're going to see. The red is the big hint at what we're looking at. I think it makes your eye identify it quicker. Since I posted this, I also smoothed out the sword, so it looks more like a sword, and it's only disrupted as it penetrates the box of chocolates. And then you have a chocolate that falls down, but that chocolate's really small. I thought about bumping the size up, but I'm like, no, it's not. Is that the end of that row? Yes. Okay. So the next one is death. Now, I did the horse digitally initially, and it got a very poor reaction from everybody. So I came back and I redrew it. By the way, you'll notice there's subtleties in here. This is a person that I lost too early in life, and their initials are permanently carved in the death's horse as a reminder. There you go. So there's something personal within the death card. So I bumped up the sky to make it more dreary. I made the background more dreary. It does have a shine to the sun back there, but it's less obvious. Now, the biggest thing that happened here is I removed the priest that is guarding the kids. So the kids have no guardians. They are by themselves, and here comes death. So the priest trying to stop death, I removed. And I thought that'd give it more of a creepy, eerie feel, like here they come. And then I lowered the opacity of the dead guy there, the dead king, I guess, with the crown and whatnot. Anyway, I like it. I like the blood moon feel. It has that Zelda Breath of the Wild blood moon feel in the background. So I like it a lot. I think it looks pretty cool. All right, and obviously the next one is the Ten of Swords. So I added a vulture. Obviously, everything is exactly the same, but I added a vulture. I thought it really fit. I thought it really fit the feel. By the way, the vulture does have shadow underneath them. I updated that since I posted this into the graphic. Anyway, I like this because it has that eerie feel to it, that creepy, weird feel. And the vulture gives it that extra. I mean, the vulture's not actively eating him. I thought it'd be kind of gruesome, but I wanted the vulture to be present to give you that feel that you're constantly on edge. You're constantly on edge. You're like, what's going to happen next? And I want it to sort of extract emotion or give you that emotion of, I mean, something's bad is about to happen, but it hasn't happened. Do you know what I'm saying? So the vulture not physically coming in and eating them makes it like it's not yet over. It's not yet over. We have the Ten of Swords, we have this drama, but it's not quite over yet. Okay. Oh, the next one's the 9. I don't like the hair. The hair I did digitally, and I'm sorry I did it digitally. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I edited this scene a little bit as well. I have different symbols of astrology on there. Now, there's a face in the background, and it was very prominent in the first version of this, but I dialed it back a lot. So the face is still there. By the way, this is a woman clown off of Pixabay, digitally put in there. Anyway, the face has that eerie feel to it, but when you print it, I think it's going to be just barely noticeable. So the idea here is you see the swords, and then you see the person, and then you see this, the setup. And then you look back up here and you notice the face. But the face has a barrier between the face and the person, and the barrier is the swords. So anyway, I thought there was an interesting sort of aspect to it. All right, and the final one is the Queen of Pentacles. The face looks terrible. I told you before, I don't want to do faces well. I like this. I did the pentacle shape digitally because I think that's what I wanted to do. And the rabbit in the original card is over here to the right. And I removed that rabbit and put in this rabbit. And then I put a squirrel. Now the squirrel is a shout out to Papa Squirrel YouTube. If you haven't seen Papa Squirrel, go check out his YouTube. Anyway, the added variety of flowers. And I think the flowers really help the whole thing out. And my pattern for the flowers up top is completely different than what the original one is. Anyway, so yeah, that looks totally different. So there you go. And the left side is totally different as well. So I mean, you have a lot of edits here. Added the creatures, I think, really sort of make this cool feel to it. There's a lot of stuff I did digitally as well. The bottom is sort of darker than the top section, etc., etc. Okay, so overall, this week's cards I'm really proud of. Most people, I didn't repost Death because, damn, that looks so good. That horse, because I did the horse later and then came in and put it in later, it really stands out. In a good way, though. I mean, that really looks weird. It looks weird. It looks like the horse is jumping off the page just because I did it separately. And then I sort of munged it in, digitally, etc., etc. But yeah, so this week's cards I'm very, very proud of. I think this looks great. And I think this is going to be a good selection to this. So going to Kickstarter end of May, I believe that I should have, let me know about the 7 of Cups. Is this ethereal feel? Is that good or bad? Like, what do you think? Anyway, I'm tempted to make the cups not behind the clouds. And again, I'm back and forth on this. And do you want flowers? Do you want flowers right here? Or do you want this as is? I'm tempted to leave it as is. It has that simple feel to it. We're out in the field. There's nothing really here. Again, I'm back and forth with this crap. Anyway, let me know. Strength is pretty firm. Strength, 5 Pentacles, the aces, and everything on the bottom is pretty firm at this point. So I'm pretty happy with everything. Let me know, and we'll see you in the next one. So that'll be 30. It'll be 30 cards going to Kickstarter with 30 cards. So hopefully that will fund. And yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.